1. The shocking end of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, what you need to know. 2. The end of Stephen Colbert's Late Show, what happened? 1. The shocking end of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, what you need to know. A beloved era in late-night television is coming to a sudden, emotional end, and viewers want answers. In a stunning move, CBS announced that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will conclude in May. This marks not only the finale for Colbert's tenure but also the end of the Late Show franchise on CBS after nearly 3 decades on the air. But here's where it gets controversial. This is not a simple change of lineup. Stephen Colbert himself assured the audience during a live taping that there is no new host waiting in the wings. When he broke the news inside New York's historic Ed Sullivan Theater, the crowd erupted in boos, an audible testament to the show's loyal following. Stephen Colbert, who has hosted the show since 2015 following David Letterman's retirement, has transformed the program into a ratings leader and a cultural touchstone. His unique mix of humor, political satire, and candid commentary has won over millions. The cancellation, Colbert suggested, is a total shutdown, not a reboot. In a candid Instagram video, he told fans, "I'm not just saying goodbye to my show, I'm saying goodbye to The Late Show as a CBS institution. No one's stepping in. It's just over." Curiously, the news landed only days after Colbert publicly criticized CBS's parent company, Paramount Global, for settling a $16 million lawsuit filed by former President Donald Trump. Colbert has long targeted Trump in his monologues, often skewering the former president's policies and public statements. The lawsuit stemmed from claims that CBS News unfairly edited a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, Trump's opponent in the 2024 election. The timing has led to inevitable questions. Did Colbert's sharp criticism tip the scales? Or is this truly, as CBS insists, a financial decision, nothing more? The announcement also coincides with Paramount Global's bid for Federal Communications Commission, FCC, approval of a massive $8.4 billion merger with Skydance Media. In a public statement, CBS insists the show's end is purely about business, adding that the decision has no connection to the show's content, its success, or any other matters related to Paramount. But this explanation has not satisfied the show's devoted fans, nor has it quieted critics who see the hand of politics at work. Democratic lawmakers and industry voices have raised serious concerns. Senator Adam Schiff of California, who appeared as a guest shortly before the announcement dropped, has demanded greater transparency. If political motives drove this decision, the public not only deserves an answer, we deserve better, he posted on social media. Senator Elizabeth Warren and others echoed these concerns, asking why the move comes now and whether public pressure played a role. And this is the part most people miss. Democratic Senator Edward Markey of Massachusetts directly questioned Paramount's leadership, urging them not to compromise editorial independence under pressure from government regulators, especially in the context of merger approvals. His letter to Paramount Chair Sherry Redstone was explicit. If the Trump administration's regulatory power influenced the network's decision-making, people have a right to know. Meanwhile, the Writers Guild of America has called for an official investigation by the New York State Attorney General. In stark language, the WGA described the cancellation as potentially a bribe, suggesting that Paramount may be sacrificing free speech to gain the Trump administration's support for its merger plans. The union's statement highlights a simmering fear. Are independent voices in media being silenced when they challenge the powerful? Colbert's fans have responded with an outpouring of support. A Change.org petition to save the show has rapidly gained signatures. Loyal viewers aren't the only ones standing by Colbert. Fellow late-night hosts Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, and Seth Meyers have all publicly expressed solidarity. But in a striking contrast, Donald Trump himself celebrated the news, writing on Truth Social, "Absolutely thrilled Colbert got fired. Some say Kimmel's next." This contrast underscores the charged political atmosphere surrounding the show's end, a mix of partisan division, media independence, and financial maneuvering. As audience members, industry professionals, and political figures debate the real reasons behind The Late Show's cancellation, one thing is clear: this is no ordinary TV shakeup. The move raises profound questions about media integrity, the influence of political figures on entertainment, and the future of satire in a divided America. So we have to ask, do you believe CBS and Paramount are telling the full story? Or is there more at play behind the scenes? Whatever your view, the controversy won't fade with the credits. This is a conversation every viewer should join. 2. The end of Stephen Colbert's Late Show. What happened? The tragedy of ending Stephen Colbert's The Late Show. Why CBS snatched its talk show king's crown. The surprise cancellation of The Late Show is just the latest blow to the genre. July 18, 2025, 4:23 p.m. Eastern Time. Listen 1.0x. Listen to more stories on the Noah, https://newsoveraudio.com/? Offer ID =ATL_reader_exclusive_JKS1KJL app. When CBS embarked on the project of replacing David Letterman as the host of The Late Show, in 2014, the network spared no expense. It hired Stephen Colbert, who had collected Emmys and acclaim while hosting his Comedy Central talk show, The Colbert Report, gave him total creative control, and fully revamped, https://www.nytimes.com/2015/094/arts/stephen-colbert's-shiny-new-home-on-broadway- reflects-its-past.html, Manhattan's Ed Sullivan Theatre, so Colbert could make the show's longtime venue his own. After a shaky first year, https://theguardian.com/www.theguardian.com/TV-radio/forward/TV-late-show-debut-reviews. Colbert found his footing in the lead-up to the 2016 election by focusing his opening monologues more pointedly on politics. https://archive/stephen-colbert/entertainment//20174/02/stephen-colbert-new-and-improved-approach-to-improved-approach-51594. The Late Show soon became the highest-rated talk show in America, a crown it has not relinquished. https://latenight.com/news/late-night.tv-ratings/q2-2025. Since 10 years on, CBS has snatched the crown off its head. The network appears to have grown so dismayed with the state of late-night television that it has unceremoniously cancelled one of the genre's most successful stalwarts. In a statement last night, https://variety.com/variety.com/2025/tv/news/cbs-cancel-late-showed Stephen-Colbert-financial-decision-12364643556. CBS announced that not only will this season of The Late Show, set to air through May 2026, be the program's last, but the franchise will also be retired entirely. We consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable, the statement offers as explanation. The decision quickly prompted plenty of speculation. https://www.rollingstone.com/TV-movies/TV-features/late-to-show-with-Stephen-Colbert-trending-analysis-12353888587. Among industry observers, https://axios.com/2025/074/18/late-night-shows-streaming-Colbert, given Colbert's recent, unvarnished scorn. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=ZZVX3L3DQB8, for CBS's parent company, Paramount, after it settled a lawsuit. https://theatlantic.com/ideas/archive/2025/07/welcome-mafia-presidency. 683433, with Donald Trump, the president had accused 60 Minutes, the network's venerated TV news magazine, of deceptively editing an election season interview with Kamala Harris. CBS News, which produces 60 Minutes, denied the claim. But whether or not there was some political motivation behind the cancellation, the network called the reason purely financial. The underlying point is clear: The Late Show is no longer valuable enough for CBS to bother protecting it. Read: Is Colbert's ouster really just a financial decision? https://www.theatlantic.com/ideas/40/ideas/Colbert-Ouster-CBC-Trump. As the business of television changes, late-night talk shows have found themselves in a particularly awkward spot. For one, people have stopped flocking to linear television as their evenings wind down. If they do turn the TV on, it's often to check out what's new to stream rather than to put up with a somewhat staid format interrupted by many commercial breaks. The customary celebrity chats and musical performances typically appear online not long after they air, and said celebrities now have many other outlets for plugging their projects: video podcasts, YouTube shows. The cost of producing one of those alternatives is also far smaller than the budget for a glitzy affair like The Late Show. These arguments always get trotted out as nightly programs drop off the map, like when The Late Show's lead-out, The Late Late Show, didn't survive its host James Corden's departure, and when its follow-up, The Taylor Tomlinson-hosted variety show at midnight, lasted just over a year before the comedian decided to return to performing stand-up full-time. Questions about the genre's relevance are also why Late Night with Seth Meyers had to get rid of its house band. https://www.vulture.com/article/Seth-Meyers-late-night-band-goodbye-Eli-Yanni.html to survive, and why Comedy Central chose not to replace The Daily Show's former host Trevor Noah. Instead, the cable channel was satisfied with bringing back Noah's predecessor Jon Stewart for one night a week, rotating the other episodes among the current cast. And yet, even though Puck reported, https://puck.news was Colbert's cancellation really economic for CBS? UTM_campaign equals what I'm hearing AB layout leads, the 17th of July, 25, that Colbert's program was losing more than $40 million a year for CBS. There's something quite shocking about a network simply giving up a foothold as established as The Late Show. Brand names are hard to come by in television, and The Late Show was a big one. Letterman built it up over the course of the 1990s, after NBC passed him over as Johnny Carson's successor to The Tonight Show. Colbert then inherited a program defined by its past hosts' curmudgeonly brand of snark and fundamentally remade it into a much more thoughtful and authentic show. He's proved capable of deep, empathetic interviews with guests and spiky, aggressive political joke-making, by broadcast TV's rigid standards. Read The Late Night Experiment That Puts Comedy First, https://www.theatlantic.com/culture/archive/2025/04/John-Mulaney-everybodys-live-netflix-talk-show/682325